The Chronicles of Curious Conduct, Ep02, The Scriptwriter's Scandal with the Tea Society, as transcribed, reluctantly, by an observer with jam on her sleeve. There are many things the scriptwriter does well, uncovering obscure 18th century trials, deciphering handwriting that looks like it was written by a spider in distress, and muttering that comma has an agenda. But navigating the Faversham Ladies' Historical Tea Society was not amongst her natural talents. It all began with an invitation that clearly had the wrong name on it. Esteemed contributor, it read, you are cordially invited to an afternoon of refined social discourse, cucumber triangles, and a short talk on the evolution of tea cosies. Most people would decline politely. She accepted. Possibly by accident, possibly due to being distracted by a documentary on Mesopotamian curse tablets. She arrived on the day wearing a slightly coffee-stained blazer over her preferred hoodie, holding a lemon drizzle cake still warm from the oven, and nervously eyeing the front hedge for escape routes. Within 7 minutes of entering, she'd upended a sugar bowl with an overzealous attempt at politeness, accidentally insulted Mrs. Ticklethorpe's Royal Commemorative Teacup by calling it boldly glazed, and spilling her cake fork into the milk jug twice. Things deteriorated rapidly when the conversation turned to television. When asked if she enjoyed Dancing with the Stars, slowly, as if someone had just asked if she frequently licked doorknobs for recreation. And by the time someone brought up their love of reality courtroom shows, her eyes were already twitching and her mind had begun compiling notes for a piece titled Trial by Tea Cake, a Psychological Study. Then came the scandal. She had offered so innocently to bring a selection of historical anecdotes to share. They had expected quotes about Queen Victoria's favourite bonnet. What they got instead was a spirited reading of the curious case of the scandalous elopement via laundry chute, complete with accents and a brief interpretive reenactment using finger puppets. The meeting dissolved into mild chaos. One woman swooned, genuinely, another applauded, quietly, and several stormed off to the garden to take the air. She was never invited back. But rumour has it the newsletter saw its highest readership spike that month. Coincidence? She thinks not. That concludes this week's episode of Chronicles of Curious Conduct. This has been Chronicles of the Times, and I am Robin Coles, self-appointed purveyor of the peculiarly polite and socially calamitous. If your own tea society enjoys a whiff of scandal and a spoonful of storytelling, do consider dropping by our Ko-fi parlour. We don't bite unless provoked. Episodes below, next to the half-eaten tea cake. Or join our merry band of patrons, where stories like this appear weekly, often with even more questionable etiquette. Another link below, feeling quite lonely and looking for a loving owner.